Welcome to the ArtMaster channel. Today we'll be drawing Broly Super Saiyan 3 God Super Saiyan. Is that how you say it? To begin drawing this piece, we'll begin as always with some guidelines that will really help us to center the drawing in the best way possible. We'll begin with 3 vertical lines as you're seeing right now. If you're following the tutorial at home, don't worry, all the measurements are on screen. And we'll top it all off with a horizontal line in the lower end of the sheet. We begin by going to the intersection portion of the lines to start drawing the jawline and the whole rest of its face. We finish up with the sideburns and then that big forehead. Once the outline of the face has been done, we can continue with the eyes. And as you can see, these start right below the sideburns. Both of these eyes are equal as the ones from Goku in Super Saiyan 3 form. They don't possess neither pupil nor iris. Then we'll continue with his grin, and as you can see, one of the sides is higher to give that sort of evil grin that he had. After the mouth, we proceed with the nose, and you gotta be careful and make sure that it's super center, not like me that I had to correct it a couple of times. After that, we can continue with the ears that they start coming out from the curvature of the sideburns. Don't forget to add the details of the inner ear, which are very important. Then we go back to the face, we add a couple of more expression lines, and then we go back to the ears, and we do the earrings of each individual ear. Remember, the face is the most important part of the whole sketch, so really do take your time to make sure that it looks as perfect as it can be. After this, we can begin with the neck, the outer neck, and the inside lines of the neck. We can begin working on its huge trapezoids, and as we can clearly see, Broly has been hitting the gym quite harshly this last couple of days. We then continue with his necklace that will have 2 strings that go attached to the outer sides of the aforementioned trapezoids. Don't forget to add that tiny circle in the middle of the necklace. After the necklace is done, we'll continue with his huge pecs, which I gotta say, they kind of remind me of a couple of watermelons. And from what I've heard, there's a female version of Broly in Dragon Ball Super, and I'm wondering, what are they gonna do with that? Because Broly already has enough. Moving on, as you can see, I'm just adding a couple of lines to really accentuate the tightness of its skin, and we'll also draw in the nipples, and finally we can start moving to the outer side and begin to work on his huge shoulder and arms. As you can see, his whole body is huge, so don't be afraid of really making those shoulders super round and voluptuous in a way. Then we move to the other side of the drawing and we just repeat the process. That way we can try and make it as symmetrical as we can. Great, we're almost done with this sketch. We gotta work on the hair now, and we'll begin with that lock that falls right in front of his face. Once we have that, we gotta start with the rest of the hair, and we're making Broly Super Saiyan 3, so it's gonna be super long hair. Usually when I'm doing Dragon Ball hair, I like to have a marking where the highest point will be so that it can help me place all the hair that will follow, but this particular time, I started from the ground level and worked myself up. So really just do it your own way, whatever makes you feel more comfortable with it. As you can see, his hair has a very distinct shape. They're like bent triangles. At the base, his width is the longest, and then by the top, it just goes way more narrow. Really play with how they curve, and it will just make a better, more popping image by the end of the drawing. And if I gotta say, I really think that Super Saiyan 3 is one of my favorite forms throughout the whole show. So what's your favorite form with the Super Saiyans? Please leave it down below in the comments. I'll check it out for sure. Once we're done, we can start working with the lines that go inside of the locks of hair, and there's no preset way to do this. It can be random. You can do them from the base to the tip, or from the tip to the base. Just do it as you like. With a fountain pen up to 0.8 millimeters, I really make sure to have my strokes where I want that line to pop. And what I mean by that is just doing a couple of more layers in the parts that I really want them to pop, like the hair and the arms and the shoulders. But for the more delicate features like the face and the lines inside of the locks, I'll use a fountain pen up to 0.3 millimeters. That way, since it's less thick, I can actually take my time with the detailing and not suffer any consequence. After that, leave it out to dry, erase the remaining parts of the pencil, and we can continue. Great, here comes the last part, which is my favorite, the coloring part. We'll use a lot of materials, but let's begin with alcohol-based markers. If you want to know the precise materials that I use, don't worry, I'll leave all of them in the description box below. Since this is Broly Super Saiyan 3 Blue God, or however you say it, we are going to be using different shades of blue, from a darker shade of blue to a almost imperceptible shade of blue to color the hair. As you can see, I'm applying every single shade quite rapidly, not giving them time to actually dry. Please remember, try not to apply the marker twice in the same area, specifically when it comes to the skin part of the drawing, because it will look smudged and not very good. Also, if you're paying attention, you'll notice that after applying that thin layer of blue, I'm leaving some parts in white as it serves as a fourth color. As I've stated before, the type of paper that it's used for alcohol-based markers, it's really important. If you try alcohol-based markers in different types of paper, you'll notice that the difference, it's quite a lot. And as I said before, I do use a paper that works way better with Copic markers. And if I use a different type of paper that does not work with Copic markers, the results is gonna really differ in a very negative way, so please do take your time in finding what works best for you. Man, I love coloring. It's one of the aspects that I love the most because I think it's super relaxing, and I don't care at all that it's quite a lengthy process, to be honest. Well, after spending so much time with the hair, we're ready to move on and use different colors for the earrings and the necklace. We're going to be using a combination of yellows and browns, and please do be very careful with the tip of your marker where you place it because we don't want to paint outside the lines. As a note, something that I've been applying recently in my latest drawings is using first the deepest colors or the darkest colors and then moving forward to the lighter colors. It gives me more sense of control to the particular piece of the drawing that I'm actually working on. Next up, remember to fill up that little stone with a dark shade of blue, and we'll also color the straps with a brown color. Then we'll be moving up to the skin, and there we're going to use a combination of 3 different colors, and then will be a brown and 2 different variations of a peach-like color. Also remember that on this version of Broly, his eyes will be completely white, so don't bother. It's the easiest part of the whole coloring process. After that, all that remains is continuing to use the same 3 different colors for the rest of his skin. Just take it easy, be relaxed. It's gonna take a while, but it's gonna look great. Before reaching the end of the video, I do have a joke for you guys, okay? Or a yoke, if you well, okay, so there's a dude that walks up to Broly and is like, hey man, you're looking super swole, super huge, super gains. What do you do? Do you have like any sort of performance enhancers or whatever? And he's like, nah man, I just eat my vegetables at night. Okay, moving on. But for real though, before we continue, I really want to know what's your favorite characters. Please leave them in the comments down below, and I will surely take them in consideration for whatever new drawings I might do in the future. That really helps out a lot. Thank you so much. Moving on. What we'll need to do now is with wooden pencils, we're gonna do some shadow work. We're gonna actually use a dark blue and a dark brown. Dark blue for the hair, dark brown for the skin, and we're only going to use these wooden pencils in the darkest areas to just give it a little more of a 3D effect to it, okay? And we're almost done, and the last thing that we need to do is that key charging aura that we all love. So first, just grab a common pencil and just outline how the aura is gonna look. Then you can gently erase it all, just, you know, leave it super gentle so that you at least have the reference for it. And then with two alcohol markers, one is gonna be sky blue, the other is gonna be a more turquoise blue. We're just gonna go through that outline that we did. It's gonna look amazing, and then we can change to pastel color pencils to do the inside of it, and it's gonna look friggin' awesome. And after that, you just grab a little chunk of paper and you start blurring it out into Broly, and it's gonna look that it's going to be emanating from him. After that, if you still feel that you could use a little bit more pastel, go ahead and just be careful not to overdo it, and it's going to look absolutely fantastic. And as a final touch, you can use a neon green pastel pencil to just go through the outside portion of the aura, and it's gonna give it a beautiful, amazing detail. Oh, and almost forgot, with a white marker pen, I'm just gonna do a few dots of energy on the inside of the aura, and it's gonna look even better. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and it's actually gonna help you improve on your skill. As always, please comment, like, it really helps out a lot. Share with your friends, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!